What is up, everybody? We are back with Wolf Tales once again. I think this is the fourth episode. Yeah, but anyways, before we continue, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. It helps me know if you want more of this content or more content like this. Anyways, let's get going. Load the game. All right. What was the last? Oh yeah. I guess the two girls I guess we kicked them out and we're alone again. Well, here we go. For the next hour or so, I find myself wandering around the cabin aimlessly. Having already slept, eaten, and honestly very little remaining that I need to do. I turn on my Nintendo Switch and I play Splatoon 2 for 5 hours. I have enough supplies to last for a while yet. It's too cold outside to think about working. My hobbies are all the type to be enjoyed while resting idly. Simply put, I'm bored. Solitude may be its own reward, but at the cost of which comes is clear. There's nothing to do out here during the cold months, and even when things warm up, the choices can't compare to those available in the city. At least with those two wolf girls around, things will be a bit more lively. Other people are a nuisance, but a pet could be just what I need. That being said, what kind of pet would be suitable out in the middle of nowhere like this? Whoa. Oh god, that sound like threw me off. Give myself something to think about. I decided to turn on the radio in the kitchen. This is KFNTY giving you the snow broadcast of today. I don't know, I was trying to make up a broadcast station. After adjusting the frequency and waiting for a short while, I am able to receive the weather forecast, which paints a rather placid picture. Maybe I should go out and get some water while it's still mild outside. The weather can change out here at the drop of a hat, so it never hurts to have a surplus. Yep, still snowy. I grab my coat and head for the door, resolving myself to be slightly more active than usual. Before this pleasant weather changes for the worse, I'm going to shore up my supplies, just as any prudent survivor should. Let's go get some water. Oh, geez, the snow came. Oh no. Oh. Who the hell would thought it would be a good idea to fetch water? Everything turned to sludge out there. The entire landscape has changed before the snowstorm. I hurriedly closed the door behind me as I returned from gathering water. Unfortunately, my trip proves fairly fruitless, as the spring from which I usually gather drinking water has temporarily blocked off. The snowstorm has shifted the terrain, making my usual routes either inaccessible or far more dangerous than usual. Screw it. I'd just stay inside after all. Maybe it'd be boring to stay indoors all day, but at least it's safe. Still shivering slightly, I regretfully remove my coat and flop on the couch. Covering myself with the blanket, the same one I used to cover those two sleeping wolf girls yesterday, I settled myself and tried to make myself comfortable. Let's see now. Where did I put my remote to my invisible TV? Unless that picture of that bear right there is supposed to be the TV. And what is this over here? It looks like a DVD player of some sort. If it isn't within arm's reach, I'm not getting up to look for it. I'm just that lazy. I look around the immediate vicinity of the couch. Unfortunately, the remote is nowhere to be seen, and it's probably still in the kitchen from where I last watched TV while cooking. I guess I'll sit here then. What a fun person I am. Oh god, the radio again. As I sit in silence, I notice a faint sound. It sounds like a voice, but it's too quiet for me to understand what they're saying. Oh great, now I'm hearing things. Maybe I lived alone out here for too long after all. I tried to ignore the voice by focusing my mind elsewhere. However, the voice doesn't disappear. It seems to cut in and out, with an ample static cropping in between words. What the heck could that? Alright, the radio. I unintentionally rise to my feet and turn towards the kitchen where I left the radio turned on. Seeing how it is battery powered, I figured it'd be better to turn it off if I'm not using it. Before I can do so, however, I hear something ominous from the other side of the radio. Ooh, I don't like that. Back. Weather. Incoming. Avalanche last night. Perhaps I've changed. Advising caution. Whew. It was worse than I thought, huh? Now I'm definitely not going outside. I turned the radio off and got the TV remote, which is sitting in the kitchen counter. Then I returned to the living room and sat down on the couch, remote in hand. Where were we? Oh yeah, let's find something to watch, shall we? Now, what did I start watching last time? Before I turned on television, I go to wrap myself in the blanket I had used to cover myself just a moment ago. The second I got to do so, however, I felt a chill run down my spine. Oh shit. The girls. They wouldn't know about the avalanche last night, or the bad weather that's about to hit. If they get caught up in that, they find that their path is blocked home. The path back home has been blocked. Those poor girls might be. I better go find them. Oh hell. How can I sit back and relax knowing those girls might be in danger? I can watch TV anytime. For now, I got a couple of wolf girls to track down. Well, I get my Jeep, I guess. Covered in several layers, I head out to the frozen wasteland before me and... I don't know why I brain farted there, sorry. I head out to the frozen wasteland before me in search of the two wolf girls. Upon starting my drive, I quickly realized that the cold is the least of my worries. I noted earlier, and the radio confirmed, of all the usual scenery has changed since I last ventured outside. Familiar landmarks are gone. Paths have been blocked off, and solid ground has been replaced by sleet. If I'm not careful, I might wind up getting lost or stuck myself. Okay, now, where would those two girls have gone? I've never been to the other side of the mountain, but if my memory serves right, I follow a vague recollection of a map I purchased when I first moved out here. The actual pathways have obviously changed since then, but my memory gives me at least a hint to the direction which I should be heading. Now then, if I remember correctly, it should be this road here. Or at least it was, back where there was a road. I come to a stop at the road, as the road I'm following appears to be end abruptly. Ugh. A few hundred feet in front of me, there would generally be a road, but there's a huge pile of snow. From my point of view, it's impossible to bypass. Oh man, I guess the road is blocked after all. Maybe there's a path or something that I just can't see from here. If I could just move a bit closer. Oh. I forced myself out of the truck, shivering as the blizzard rages. My legs became weary, but my stomach's full and my body's warm. If those girls are out here, I'm gonna find them. Murari! Fuyu! You two out here? Murari! 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 Fuyu! 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 I'll call out the girl's name as I head closer to the obstructed pathway. As I near the wall of snow, a vague figure appears up ahead. Squinting, I tried to discern the identity of the being in front of me. Murari? Fuyu? Joe? Fuyu! Hearing Joe's surprised exclamation, I rushed over to the figure up ahead. Once I get closer, I realize it's not Fuyu. It's not just Fuyu. Murari's with her too. However... Joe, please help me! Murari suddenly collapsed while we were walking. I carried her myself, but the path is... I know. Most of the paths have changed or been blocked off. You won't be able to get through here, not today. Eh? But what will we do? Murari's unconscious. She needs somewhere warm to rest and something to eat and... Whoosh! Come on, Fuyu. If you panic, you're just going to make things harder for yourself. Just for the time being, you're both coming back to my cabin. I'll help you carry Murari back, and we'll make sure we'll keep her nice and warm. No, but we couldn't possibly. I wasn't asking. You take one arm, I'll take the other, got it? Yes, I understand. If it's for the Hime, then let's go. Fuyu comes to her senses and grabs hold of Murari tightly. I do the same, grabbing Murari's other arm, wrapping her arm around my shoulders. Like so, Fuyu and I carried the unconscious princess back to my truck, braving the hellish blizzard once more. Oh, we're back. Through great exertion and with much difficulty, I managed to bring Mirai and Fuyu back to my cabin, safe and sound. While the two girls aren't injured, it seems that they're both utterly exhausted, with Mirai still unconscious and likely running a fever. Fuyu is sick with worry and clearly overexerting herself, but otherwise appears to be fine. How's Mirai doing? Any change? In response to my question, Fuyu shakes her head. Still nothing. The princess won't wake up at all. Oh, it's too bad. Oh well, let's give her time. She'll be okay. I hope so. Fuyu sulks and shrugs off my optimism. It seems that her concern for her friend is not easily diminished. You know, Mirai was in far worse shape when I found her. As long as she's kept warm and given a chance to rest, I think she'll pull through. For the time being, pushing myself directly behind Fuyu, I place one hand on the girl's head. I'm more worried about you, Fuyu. Me? Why would you worry about me? Is that really so strange? You were out there in that blizzard, you know. You even wound up carrying Mirai all by yourself before I got there. Not to mention the panic and stress you would be suffering from. So, how are you holding up? Do you need anything, Fuyu? Is there something I can do for you? Don't be absurd. Your concern is entirely unnecessary, human. Fuyu pouts and turns away with the red tinge on her cheeks. You should focus your attention on Mirai instead. She's more important here. Not me. I would gladly give her my life if it meant bring her back home and safe and sound. I begin to rub Fuyu's head while chuckling to myself. So what you're saying is you're so concerned for your friend's happiness that you'd give up your own life in order for her to achieve it? That isn't what I said. I just don't want the pack to suffer because of that girl's selfish whims. That's all. Yes, I understand. I continue to pet Fuyu as she sulks. Despite her usual temperament, she doesn't push my hand away, nor does she appear to dislike the contact. If she weren't so proud, she might actually give in to the feeling and lean in closer. But you know, Fuyu, as great as it is to be loyal, you shouldn't put so little importance in your own life. Just as your pack misses Mirai, I'm sure you miss you too. And for a fact that if you're gone, Mirai will be devastated. So don't throw your life away, okay? Take care of yourself, just as you take care of Mirai. Later that evening, after a long night of watching Fuyu fuss over Mirai, I eventually turn in for the night and go to bed. Convincing Fuyu to do the same proves surprisingly difficult. She's adamant about being there for Mirai and doesn't want to leave her side. It isn't until I convey to Fuyu the unexpected time at which Mirai will awaken, a complete lie on my part, that Fuyu has finally agreed to rest. She snuggles up next to Mirai just as they had when they slept on the couch together previously, and before long, Fuyu is sound asleep. Jeez, those two are a handful. Maybe I shouldn't get pet after all. Looking after those two is really tiring enough. Well, I guess I better see how those two are doing. If I'm lucky, maybe they have slept in. Despite my optimism, my first thing I see upon entering the living room is a sight of Fuyu towering over Mirai. I mean it. I'm feeling much better now. Really, I can get up on my own. I don't care how you're feeling better. No means no. You're just gonna stay in bed and rest, got it? No, but what about Gohan? I'll make Gohan. You just keep resting until I bring your portion for you. Would that really be alright? You haven't received the same training I have. Don't you worry about me. It'll be a piece of cake. In fact, I'll make a piece of cake. How hard can human cuisine be anyways? If Joe can make it, then there's no way someone like me won't be able to. Oh, really? That's quite a declaration there, Fuyu. Fuyu freezes up a moment. She hears my voice. With great hesitation, Fuyu slowly turns her head until looking at me out of the corner of her eye. Joe, how long have you been standing there? Long enough to hear you promise that you'll be making us all breakfast. Do you need me to show you where the storeroom is? Well... Fuyu averts her gaze as she tries to avoid my question. Sorry guys, I need a water break. Woo. Oh, it's reading. Okay. It seems this rowdy wolf girl doesn't possess her princess knowledge of such things after all. Joe! Before I can tease Fuyu any further, Mari calls out to me in a surprisingly assertive voice. Yes, Mari? Joe, I apologize. Huh? Hime? Fuyu and I both stare at Mari in surprise as she hangs her head. Even after you told me to leave, even after I resolved myself to stop relying on your kindness, I'm here once again. I burdened you once more, forcing you to take care of me even after you already done so much for me. I just want you to know that this is it. As soon as I'm able, I will leave this cabin and never come back. I will not bother you ever again. Hime. Despite the fact that Mirari is now agreeing to leave without a fight, even Fuyu can't accept her downhearted proclamation. If Mirari had been able to declare with a smile on her face that she would return to her pack, I would wish her well. Fuyu would happily lead her along, and the duo would return home, and that would be the end of it. Given Mirari's current state of mind, however, think before you speak, Mirari. If you say something that stupid, there's no way I'll let you leave. Joe? Listen to me, Mirari. This is twice now that you almost died because you've been out underprepared. The weather's been unpredictable lately, and the paths has changed, and half the snow underfoot is unstable. I'm not going to be held responsible you running off to your death, Mirari, so until I say otherwise, the two of you are staying right here with me. Got it? You mean that? We can stay? I nodded confirmation. Hime, did you hear that? Yeah, we can stay. We can stay here after all. Oh, this is such a relief. Yes, Princess, I'm happy for you, Princess. If you must linger a while for the sake of your recovery, then I have no choice but to keep you company. The two girls join hand and bounce on their heels, wearing expressions of joy as they do. Contrary to Fuyu's words, it seems that she is relieved as well. Oh, she is as relieved as Mirari. You're so transparent, Fuyu. Can't you just honestly say you don't know how to get home, and you're afraid of putting Mirari in danger again? Chuckling to myself, I move closer to the two girls. We're family again. Remember, this is just until the weather clears up, and you're able to make your own way back home. I'll be listening to the radio every day for mention of the snow being cleared away, or the weather improving. Understood. We shan't overstay our welcome a second time. When the time is right, we'll leave without fuss. Oh, I don't want them to leave. By the time noon has rolled around, the weather outside seems to have improved. Not to the point where I have any confidence making a long trek, but at the very least, it seems though I'll be able to scout out the area. Alright, I should take this opportunity and check out the landscape. In particular, I see the path Mirai and Fuyu were taking yesterday has cleared at all. Confirming on the radio that the weather is set to remain unchanged for the rest of the day, I begin to put on my boots and coat. Joe? Where are you going? Oh, Mirari. I was just going to check out the terrain, now that the weather has stabilized a bit. I'll be back before long. I'll come too. No, you won't. I gently flick Mirari in the head, as if to punish her for saying something unreasonable. You just stay put and recover. I don't want you to overexert yourself. But I can't continue to leech off your kindness like this. I need to make myself useful. it's the least I can do, considering everything you're doing for me. I appreciate your feelings, but if you come to me and you faint again, you're gonna cause me more trouble. Mari sulks, and I point out the major flaw in her offer without hesitation. Listen, I know it's kind of rude to ask this of a sick person, and I'm not implying that this is all for your good or anything, but if you're really itching to do something to do, why don't you just clean up a bit? Make lunch for when I get back. Only if you're feeling up for it, of course. Yes, absolutely. It would be my pleasure, Joe. Arigato? No, you really don't need to thank me for assigning you chores. Without wasting a moment, Mirai skips over to the storeroom where I keep all the cleaning supplies. It seems that the specter of illness means nothing to Mirai after all. Dressed soberly, I head out into the snow. As I go to close the door behind me, however, I feel something block my way. Hey, watch it, Joe! Oh, sorry, Fuyu. Fuyu pushes past me, and this time I close the door for real. Wait a minute. What are you doing out here, Fuyu? What? Do I need your permission to go outside? Well, no, I guess not. But given the timing, it was like you're following. You're gonna check out the terrain, aren't you? To see what's changed and where you can't get through? If you're gonna try reach our den, then you need a guide, and I can hardly allow the princess to go in her current condition. I never said anything about visiting your den. Fine, you can come along. Just don't get too far ahead. Fuyu runs off before I can finish speaking. Alright guys, well, I think that's where I'm going to call it here today. If you want to see more of this video, please, more of this game, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.